Stadium. It is my honor to be joined by one of the combatants in the April 16th main event, WBA champion Yordenis Ugas, and also a fighter who was involved in his fair share of mega pay-per-view events, the legendary Hall of Famer and three-division world champion, mi gran amigo, Felix Tito Trinidad. The purpose of today's conversation is to preview the upcoming welterweight championship unification on April the 16th and to discuss Tito's and Yordenis' unique path to boxing success. In Tito, we have a man who achieved greatness in his career, winning a welterweight title in 1993 on Showtime. Sorry about that, guys. Winning a welterweight title on 1993 on Showtime and unifying the belts in 1999 with a win against the Golden Boy, Oscar de la Hoya. He then moved up to the junior middleweight division, where he was involved in one of the greatest fights in the history of the division, unifying the titles in the year 2000 against Feroz Fernando Vargas, a fight he won by 12th round stoppage. He then moved up again and won the WBA middleweight title with an emphatic stoppage over William Joppy before his epic battle with Bernard Hopkins. Tito was voted into the International Boxing Hall of Fame in 2014 and is regarded as one of the greatest Puerto Rican fighters of all time. And in Yordenis, we have someone who is at the doorstep of boxing immortality, who, with a win on April the 16th, will own 3 welterweight titles and should be considered one of the best fighters of his era. His story is well documented. He escaped death to achieve his American dream by coming to this country after he captured Olympic bronze for Cuba. He nearly retired from the sport after back-to-back losses in 2014, only to beat the odds again and topple the legendary Manny Pacquiao last summer. Now he is one win away from unifying welterweight titles, just as Tito did in 1999 against Oscar de la Hoya. Perhaps after this conversation, we will find out what allowed Tito to achieve his greatness and what Yordenis needs to do to win on April the 16th and reach such heights. So let's begin today's conversation. I'm going to begin with Tito. Tito, bienvenidos. Felicidades, mucho tiempo sin verte. I am sure everyone here would like to know, how is retirement treating you, and do you miss the sport of boxing?
Tito, bueno, la primera pregunta es para ti. ¿Y qué? Obviamente en el retiro, ¿extrañas al boxeo? ¿Cómo es tu vida ahora en Puerto Rico?
Bueno, saludo Raúl Márquez, Yordenis Ugas y a todas las personas que van a estar transmitiendo esta entrevista en inglés, en español. Saludo a todos. Bueno, en realidad, pues, mi vida, pues, tuve tantos años metido en el mundo del boxeo, ¿verdad? Que fue le doy las gracias a Dios, las gracias a mi padre que estuvo conmigo día a día ahí, manejador, empleador, toda mi carrera. Fue una carrera dura, una carrera fuerte, de muchos años, de muchos logros, de muchos combates fuertes. Pues ya en este tiempo de mi vida, pues, me he dedicado a mi familia, dedicado a disfrutar todo lo que hice dentro del mundo del boxeo. Y de verdad que estoy agradecido de todo lo que pude pasar en el mundo del boxeo, porque de verdad que fueron muchos años.
It truly was a wonderful career, Raúl. I mean, so many years, so many experiences, so many tough fights. It really was marked by the longevity and the achievements that I was able to enjoy throughout my career. And now I'm concentrating on my family. It's a different chapter of my life, one that I'm enjoying a lot. So as much as I treasured the way that my career in boxing went, I'm really happy with the life I'm leading now, and the way that I'm getting to enjoy my dad, who was with me throughout my boxing career, and the way that I'm able to enjoy my life with my family in Puerto Rico right now.
Tito, I heard rumors that you are considering training fighters. Is that true?
Bueno, acá Raúl escuchó rumores de que te gustaría ser quizás entrenador en algún momento de boxeadores. ¿Eso es verdad o no?
En realidad, hablando lo que te comenté ahorita, pasé tantos años dentro del mundo del boxeo, que en realidad el tiempo que estuve ahí, ese tiempo que estuve dentro del mundo del boxeo, que le dediqué al mundo del boxeo, ya en estos tiempos de mi vida, porque quiero también darle ese tiempo a mi familia, para que ellos se sientan, que estoy con ellos. Ahí ellos me apoyaron en todo momento, mi esposa, mis hijas, mi familia, mi padre, mis hermanos, ¿sabes? Toda la familia en sí, Puerto Rico. Y gracias a Dios, pues me quiero mantener los apoyos, pero mantenerme un poco al ladito, porque no fue fácil de todos estos años ahí, trabajando duro para el boxeo.
Look, as much as I love boxing, like I said before, this is the time for my family, my siblings, my dad, my mom, everybody. Just they supported me so much when I needed them in my career that I want to be there for them now when they need me. Family is the most important thing at the moment, and like I said before, it's a different chapter in my life. They deserve my time. I want to be with them. So that's my entire focus at the moment.
Okay, Martin, this question is for Tito and for Yordenis. Both of them are from the Caribbean islands. Tito from Puerto Rico, and Yordenis from Cuba. Both of you both thrived professionally in the U.S. How difficult was it for you to be away from the family, even though you were achieving success in your profession?
Bueno, ahora esta pregunta es para los dos y que hablen un poquito entre ambos de cómo es el saber que ambos provinieron del Caribe, tuvieron que sobreponerse a muchos desafíos y a muchos obstáculos para llegar a donde Ugas está ahora y a donde Tito Trinidad supo llegar. Cuenten un poco a la gente cómo fue esa experiencia para ustedes. Si quieren, Yordenis, empezá vos.
Sí, bueno, buenos días a todos, buenas tardes. Quiero decirle que estoy muy feliz. Tito es un peleador que respeto mucho, uno de los mejores peleadores de la historia, uno de los mejores pesos fuertes de la historia. La verdad que es un honor estar sentado aquí en una misma entrevista que él. La verdad, un sueño.
Well, let me first of all say that, wow, this is such a dream come true for me to be sitting down and doing a press conference with one of my idols in Felix Trinidad. It's truly amazing, and I can't thank everyone enough for having me here.
Bueno, me toca contestar a mí.
Sí, por favor, Tito. Sí, la pregunta era sobre cómo era, que hablen entre ustedes sobre cómo fue salir del Caribe para llegar a Estados Unidos, dejar todo atrás y haber llegado a las alturas que ambos llegaron.
Sí, mira, tengo que decirte primeramente que yo como un puertorriqueño y como ciudadano americano, gracias a Dios, siempre pues con la ayuda de mi padre, todo mi grupo de trabajo, siempre en los trabajos para pelear tras pelear, nunca se me hacían complicados porque tanto como aquí en Puerto Rico como fuera de Puerto Rico, podíamos hacer el entrenamiento adecuado para cada peleador, para cada pelea, y siempre para todo peleador pues se hacen trabajos distintos, pero nosotros teníamos un trabajo, siempre llevamos el trabajo siempre planificado, lo planificamos para cada combate, y como dije anteriormente, gracias a Dios le doy, como puertorriqueño y ciudadano americano, pues nunca tuve ese problema de poder ir a otros lugares y hacer el entrenamiento que siempre planificamos para todos mis combates. Le doy gracias a Dios.
Y Yordenis, contanos sobre, quizás tu experiencia fue un poco distinta, contale a Félix y a la gente un poco cómo fue tu experiencia saliendo de Cuba.
No sé si Félix sabe, nosotros los cubanos diferentes, en Cuba no hay boxeo profesional, para hacerse profesional que hice, yo tuve que venirle en una lancha y tuve 9 años sin ver a mi familia, 9 años sin poder ver a mi familia ni nada. Los cambios son, uno viene en un país comunista cerrado completo y pasa a un país abierto, con que de momento todo es diferente. Pero gracias a Dios, como yo he dicho, he podido hacer los cambios, pude hacer los ajustes y gracias a Dios he podido poder tener algo de triunfo, tener algo de triunfo, gracias a Dios, y hacerme campeón.
Felix and Yordenis, their story of contrast. Felix was saying how he was fortunate as a Puerto Rican and as an American citizen, to where he always felt the support of his family, and he was able to always prepare comfortably and feeling right at home here in both in the United States and in Puerto Rico, because he had his whole circle of trust in a way, like, close to him. But in Yordenis' case, the contrast is how he had to leave Cuba on a speedboat, never knowing when he was going to see his family again. He didn't get to see them for almost a decade, and he had to do his journey, all alone, having to overcome the challenges, his doubts, what made him walk away from boxing for a while, and he had to do it away from home, and having to overcome not only the professional side of it, but also the personal side of knowing that his family wasn't as close to him as Felix was lucky to have close to him. Raul?
Okay, this question is for Yordenis. Did you watch Tito when he was fighting? And what influence did he have on your career?
Bueno, Yordenis, vos cuando eras joven, vos veías las peleas de Trinidad. ¿Tenés algún recuerdo de una pelea suya que te haya dejado impresionado?
Bueno, cuando yo estaba en la AIDE, tenía 12 años, 12, 13 años, en la pelea de Tito con De La Hoya, el entrenador mío de la AIDE, vieron la pelea, hablaban de la pelea, wow, y esto, yo decía, ¿qué es esto? Yo decía, yo como veía eso, nunca, como pensé, ya, eso es algo como inalcanzable, porque nosotros estamos como que vamos a pelear la amateur todas las cafés, y yo más, Tito De La Hoya, wow, en Cuba fue algo muy grande.
No, sorry. No, seguí. Creía que habías terminado, disculpa, me equivoqué yo.
No, dale, tú habla.
No, that I remember watching Felix fight when I was 12, 13 years old in Cuba, and his fight against De La Hoya, it was something that everyone was talking about there. And I remember that fight blowing my mind, just being like totally amazed by the fact that Trinidad was able to go toe to toe like that with De La Hoya, and I was like, how am I ever going to get to those heights? Well, being an amateur, you never think that how high that mountain is to climb. So to see someone like Trinidad be able to achieve it, such an inspiration. Go ahead, Raul, with the next question.
Okay, this question is for Tito. Has he had a chance to watch Yordenis in his career? And what are your impressions of him as a fighter? And did you see his win against Manny Pacquiao?
Bueno, ahora la pregunta es para vos, Tito, de que, bueno, Yordenis dijo que te vio pelear a los 12, 13 años, y obviamente le dejaste una inspiración, una marca en su vida. Vos ahora lo pudiste ver a él en su carrera, pudiste ver, por ejemplo, su pelea contra Pacquiao del año pasado, en la que él tuvo que ser un reemplazante de último minuto, llega y le gana a una leyenda como Pacquiao. ¿Qué te provocó eso? Y si pudiste ver la pelea, ¿qué te pareció?
Ya en Puerto Rico, ¿verdad? Estuve, y sinceramente lo digo con todo el corazón, y perdóname, Yordenis, no la pude ver, no la vi, pero sí, con la familia, comentando con ellos, sí, la promoción acá siempre, a nivel mundial, la promoción de tu pelea, Yordenis Ugas, contra Manny Pacquiao. Pacquiao ha sido un gran campeón, pero también tenemos que un gran boxeador cubano que tiene hambre de ser campeón, de llegar al estrellato y ganarle a Manny Pacquiao, que ha sido un campeón bien grande. Y sé que lo que me comentan y los cortes que pude ver, tu gran boxeo, tu mano rápida, siempre han estado ahí. ¿Verdad? Que el cubano siempre acostumbra a tirar bastante rápido, y de verdad que ese eres tú. Yo sé que tú tienes buen potencial, y en este próximo combate contra Spence, que también es otro zurdo, de igual manera, lucir con todo tu velocidad y con toda tu puntería.
Well, Yordenis, let me tell you, I wasn't able to watch the Pacquiao fight live, unfortunately, but you know, when I'm with my family, we always talk boxing, and then when I did get to see it, I was able to see your trademark speed and the way that you represent Cuban fighters in such an amazing way. And just like you took down a legend like Manny Pacquiao, who was a great champion and put up a great fight, I believe in you for the fight against Spence. I know that you can emulate that against another lefty, and that your precision and your speed are gonna wow the crowd at the Dallas Cowboys Stadium on April 16th. Yordenis, ¿qué te genera lo que dijo recién Félix?
Sí. No, que hable Félix, iba a hablar.
No, por eso.
Quiero preguntarle algo, que pues ahora eres campeón mundial. O sea, que ahora allí fuiste buscando el título mundial. O sea, aquí la unificación de títulos, ¿verdad? Con Spence Jr. ¿Sabes? Es algo que hablamos de campeón a campeón. Así que como yo cuando peleé con Oscar de la Hoya en el 99, íbamos de campeón a campeón. O sea, y yo fui con todo a ganar ese título mundial de la Hoya, y así lo hice. Y yo espero que tú lo vas a hacer.
Let me tell you, Yordenis, this is something that I want you to know and that I want you to remember. This is going to be a fight of a champion against a champion. When I fought De La Hoya in 1999, I knew that I had to go all out. I didn't have to leave anything in the tank. And I know you can do it too. I believe in you. You're going to go all out there and you're going to make us all proud.
Okay.
Raul?
Next question. I got another question for Tito. Tito, what do you think of Yordenis' opponent, Errol Spence Jr.?
Tito, ¿y qué opinas de Errol Spence? ¿Qué es lo que crees que Yordenis va a tener que cuidarse de un campeón unificado como él?
Spence, por el zurdo, alto. Tengo entendido que ya lleva bastante tiempo sin subir a un ring. Ya lleva un tiempo bastante largo sin subir a un ring. Sí. Pero siempre hay que cuidarse de todo rival. Pero yo sé que Ugas tiene las habilidades. El boxeador zurdo siempre se debe de tirar mucho la mano derecha. Siempre esa mano derecha siempre llega. No es que sea tan fácil, pero llega. Esto lo digo a ti, Ugas. Tu mano derecha, tírale con bastante frecuencia y buena puntería. Tu mano derecha. Aprovecha bien y tu mano derecha. Y siempre algo porque sí, he hablado bastante, para que mi tiro pueda traducir, pero algo bien importante, que siempre en mi carrera, a todo boxeador zurdo, a todos los boxeadores que me enfrente de guardia zurda, yo me le movía, no para la mano, la mano del jab, no, me le movía para la mano dura, para la mano que ellos tienen, la mano fuerte de ellos, para ahí era que yo me le movía. ¿Para qué? Para hacer lo que me tiraran esa mano, hacer que ellos me tiraran la mano dura de ellos, a yo esquivarla y venir con mi mano derecha. Esquiva, y venir con mi mano derecha. Pero para eso se necesita entrenar, pero eso yo lo hacía. Provocaba que ellos me tiraran su mano derecha, mano izquierda, perdón, su mano izquierda, que me tiraran mano izquierda para yo venir con la mía. Y colocarla, sea por aquí por el medio o por el lado. Y yo sé que tú tienes las habilidades para poder hacerlo, y yo voy a ti, de corazón. Pero esa victoria.
No, adelante, Yordenis, ¿quieres decir algo? Yo lo traduzco después.
No, es un honor, como Tito Trinidad es uno de los mejores peleadores de la historia, uno de los mejores pesos fuertes de la historia. y que me esté apoyando y me esté dando estos consejos. Estoy agradecido. Él para la pelea con Pacquiao me mandó un video que yo lo tengo ahí en mi video favorito, que lo aprecié mucho, me dio mucho ánimo, y ahora también estoy bien feliz de poder conversar con él y poder recibir esas palabras de un gran campeón como él.
Well, as far as the question Raul just had for Tito actually gave Ugas some advice just now. What was it? That Errol is a lefty, right? Rangy, tall. So Tito actually wanted to impart some advice to Ugas about what he did against opponents like Spence. That instead of trying to go up against the right hand, maybe try to avoid damage, he actually wanted to receive those powerful shots from the like take their biggest shot in order to dodge it and then land his biggest shot. And Felix was saying that I believe you can do it too, because I know you can win this fight, and I know that with all your training and the way that you have been preparing, you can do exactly that. Don't be afraid to go up against that left hand. Look for it, dodge it, and then land your best shot. And then Ugas was replying that first of all, thank you for that advice. It means a lot, and that he remembers that before his fight against Pacquiao, Felix actually sent him a video motivating him to win that title and to know that he can win. So he appreciates all the encouragement that Felix gave him then and the encouragement that he gives him now. Raul?
Okay, I got another question for Tito. Tito, if you had to fight someone like Errol Spence, what do you think would happen in the fight? And can you give us a little idea of what kind of strategy would you use to beat a guy like Errol Spence?
Bueno, si le tendrías que decir a Yordenis, recién hablaba justamente de cómo no había que evadir a la zurda, ¿no? ¿Qué consejo le darías a alguien como Ugas para enfrentar a Spence? Y si vos te enfrentarías a Spence, ¿cómo sería esa pelea? Si sería Trinidad Spence en tu plenitud, ¿cómo sería? Félix.
Trinidad Spence, yo, bueno, como para todos mis combates, siempre me preparaba física, mentalmente, 100% para cada combate. Como se dice en el boxeo, no hay rival pequeño. De verdad que todo rival hay que prepararse para cada rival. Y eso era mi caso. Para todos y cada uno me preparaba 100%. Y si fuese a pelear una pelea con Spence, como dije anteriormente, física, mentalmente y físicamente de igual manera. Porque dentro del ring, Spence, guardia zurda, alto, también tiene su manito bastante fuerte, campeón mundial, pero yo voy a buscar, y si fuese también campeón unificando, yo voy a buscar el título que él tiene, y igualmente él lo que yo tengo. Pero en este caso, hablando yo del Tito Trinidad, iría a buscar el título que él tiene y haría todo lo posible por mantenerme cerca de él, bien cerca de él, a la ofensiva. Yo también sé boxear, pero mantenerme a la ofensiva, manteniéndome no lejos de él. Ugas, no lejos de él. Mantenerme cerca de él y todo el tiempo llaveando y mano derecha, llaveando y derecha y ancho, derecha y ancho. Mayormente son los golpes que creo que van a estar dominando en la pelea. ¿Por qué? Porque cuando entra la derecha, muchas veces la derecha entra y entra el derecho también corrido. Si viene bajito, de que él pudiera poner una guardia que venga bajito, que sea alto, venir bajito, llavear y el open. Llaveo por la derecha y open el mismo. Son cosas que Tito Trinidad hubiese hecho frente a Spence, porque en realidad siempre me gustaba también boxeaba, tuve mi pelea que tuve que boxear, pero también me gustaba pelear y así lo demostré dentro del ring.
¿Y quién ganaba? ¿Y quién ganaba? ¿Trinidad 99 o Spence 22? ¿Pero quién ganaba? ¿El Spence de 2022 o Trinidad 99?
Yo ganaba en las dos fichas.
Mira, le ganó 29.
No, en el 99 le ganaba. Y en el 2022 también le ganaba.
Basically,
Where come from?
first of all, as far as what advice Felix will have for Ugas, Ugas, stay close, go on offense, don't let him come to you, go to him, and you know it's the jab with the right, the uppercut with the left. That's the best advice I can give you. Be aggressive and just take advantage of the opportunities that he gives you, but be aggressive. And then, as far as who will win, Trinidad in 1999, the 1999 version of Errol Spence 2022, I'll tell you what, Trinidad will win in the 1999 version, and I could beat him in the 2022 version too. And Ugas said the same thing. Ugas was saying Trinidad 1999 wins, no doubt about that. Raúl?
Okay, this question is for Yordenis Ugas. When you look at Tito's era, you have fighters like Oscar De La Hoya, Pernell Whitaker, Fernando Vargas, Ike Orte, hey, even myself, because I fought in that era. Is there a fighter you would have loved to have faced from back then? And do you think you would have excelled in that era?
Bueno, digamos que te traslado ahora, Yordenis, a la época de Trinidad, a los 90. Raúl estaba nombrando a varias leyendas de aquella década. Son dos preguntas separadas. Una, si hay algún boxeador de aquella época al que te hubiese encantado enfrentar, si pudiese tener una máquina del tiempo. Y segundo, si vos crees que el Ugas de hoy en día hubiese tenido este mismo éxito en los 90.
No, estaba fuerte. De La Hoya y Trinidad es una de las mejores peleas, una de las peleas más grandes de la historia. 2 pesos welter. Me hubiera gustado pelear con De La Hoya. Hubiera sido un honor y un placer pelear con Tito también. Me hubiera gustado pelear con Vargas. Me hubiera gustado pelear con Whitaker. Mencioné algunos de los mejores peleadores de la historia en eso. Pero, ¿sabes? Uno es un competidor. Yo pienso que soy un competidor y pienso que hubiera competido en cualquier época, ganando y perdiendo contra lo mejor, como estoy tratando de hacer ahora en mi generación. Pero es una generación muy buena, la verdad.
How can you not want to fight against the best in history? I would have loved to fight against Felix, a great champion like him. Obviously, I have loved to fight against De La Hoya. De La Hoya Trinidad, that fight was one of the best of all time. Not just the best of that year, the best of all time. And of course, I would also have loved to fight against Whitaker and Vargas. And I'll tell you what, I'm a competitor. I will have put my best foot forward in any era, no matter what decade you are talking about. And I will have won, I will have lost, but I will have made my best effort against all those great champions from that decade. Raúl?
Okay, guys, this is the final question for me, and it's going to be for both, Martin. What did it mean to them to represent their country every time they stepped inside the ring?
Bueno, esta es una pregunta para ambos y cuéntenos, o sea, un poco de corazón de qué significa para ustedes el representar a Cuba y a Puerto Rico dentro del ring, lo que representa para vos, Yordenis, ahora, en este momento, y lo que solía representar para vos, Félix, en tus peleas cuando estabas activo. Yordenis, si querés, empezá vos.
No, que comience la leyenda primero.
Bueno, dale, Félix.
Sí. Para mí representaba mucho poder subir en cada combate, realmente mi familia, por mí, por mi familia, por mi Puerto Rico, y donde quiera que estuviese un puertorriqueño, mis fanáticos, porque tengo fanáticos donde quiera, ¿verdad? No me gusta hablar de mí así de esta manera, pero tengo muchos fanáticos de muchos países que siempre me han dado el apoyo y de verdad que siempre lo quise hacer con el mayor orgullo para mi isla y para todo aquel que era fanático de Tito Trinidad. De verdad que estuve inmensamente siempre orgulloso de estar metido en un ring y haber hecho lo que hice, 5 títulos mundiales en 3 diferentes categorías Y para todos los que fueron mis fanáticos y toda mi gente de puertorriqueños donde quiera que estén.
I was a citizen of the world. I wasn't just representing my flag. Of course, I represented my country and my flag with pride. But I always fought for the fans that cherish me, that love me, and who I loved in return all over the world. It didn't matter where they were from or who they were, because they were my fans, and I love them all, no matter where they came from. And I'm always gonna be proud of having represented them with my 5 world titles in 3 different weight classes, and having the love from fans everywhere in the world. That was priceless. Yordenis?
Bueno, comenzando, te digo que Tito es un ejemplo. He escuchado que cuando Trinidad de la Olla se hizo un hueco en Puerto Rico porque todos los puertorriqueños saltaron cuando le dieron la decisión al mismo tiempo. Y es un peleador amado por todos los puertorriqueños dentro y fuera. Y yo he ido a Puerto Rico un par de veces y cuando digo de Trinidad, wow, increíble. Y eso lo hizo él peleando siempre fuerte, peleando siempre representando a su país. Es un ejemplo y yo, la verdad que yo siempre peleo, siempre por Cuba. Nosotros tenemos una causa diferente, todo el mundo sabe mi causa y muchos cubanos están orgullosos de mí y la verdad mi sueño es llegar a ser querido así por su gente como lo es Tito, pero yo estoy feliz porque la verdad los cubanos me apoyan mucho, yo los represento, siempre pido libertad para mi país, siempre pido libertad para todos los presos políticos, siempre tengo mi bandera ahí y los cubanos también orgullosos de mí y ese es el gran orgullo de mi vida también.
Well, let me first of all say that I admire Tito so much, and when I go to Puerto Rico, whenever I mention his name, the first word I hear is "wow," and everybody loves him so much there, and they're all so proud of him and so happy to hear his name when I'm there. So I'm really humbled once again to be able to talk to him and be able to share this experience with him. And as far as me representing Cuba, you know how I feel. I'm always bringing the flag up there with me, and I love my country. But at the same time, you know that I fight to represent not just my country, but to ask for freedom for the political prisoners in Cuba, to ask for a free Cuba, and to hopefully have a better future for my country, which I love and represent with all my heart. Raul?
Fantastic. Now let's bring in Mitch from Showtime Sports to call in some of the media members to ask questions to both Tito and Yordenis. Mitch?
Thanks, Raul. Appreciate it. Great conversation. Let's go to the media here. If you guys have a question, please raise your hand virtually. We're going to start first with Jim Conlon from RCB Radio Sports Ireland. Jim, go ahead.
Hi, Tito, Yordenis, a great honor. Tito, an absolute legend of the sport of boxing. You fought so many of the greats during your time. One of those greats is Roy Jones Jr. Do you think Earl Spence has any of the skills or the traits of a Roy Jones Jr.?
Bueno, Tito, la pregunta es para ti. Y has peleado en tu época contra alguien como Roy Jones Jr. ¿Crees que Spence es comparable a lo que Roy Jones Jr. solía hacer en tu época? Félix.
Son boxeadores americanos, boxeadores rápidos. Roy Jones Jr. Wow, ha sido uno, bueno, si no fue el mejor, el segundo boxeador mejor, boxeador semi-con supermediano, el mejor supermediano. Spence es un campeón, un gran campeón. Todavía creo que le falta un poco para llegar allá a esa altura que estuvo Roy Jones, pero sí, de verdad que va en camino y de verdad que sé que en este momento con la pelea con Ugas tiene un rival de frente, un rival muy fuerte, muy rápido, de mano rápida, de mano de gran pegada, Y sé que, aunque Spence es un gran boxeador, tenemos acá a Uga, que es el campeón de nosotros, el campeón que va a reventar ese día. Y sé que va a ser una victoria de nuestro hermano Ugas.
Well, as far as similarities go between Spence and Roy Jones Jr., I will say they are both American and they are both, they're quick. But make no mistake, Roy Jones Jr. was, if not the best, at worst the second best super middleweight of all time. To me, he was a great champion and someone that marked an era. Spence is a great champion too, but he has a ways to go in order to reach the heights that Roy Jones Jr. Was able to get to. And keep in mind that also, yeah, Spence has achieved a lot. But here we have Yordenis Ugas. He's our champion. And he's someone that's fast, that's quick, that knows what he's doing. And he's going to be quite the mountain to climb for Spence. I believe that Ugas can win this fight. And that Spence is going to have his hands full on April 16th. Go ahead, Mitch, with the next question.
Great. Thanks, Martin, and thanks, Jim. Let's go next to James Bell from the Boxing Source. James, go ahead.
All right, thank you. First question is to Yordenis. While this is a great matchup of two fighters between you and Errol Spence, it's also a matchup of the trainers. Spence has Derek James and you have Ismail Salas. Kind of talk about your relationship with Ismail Salas and how important he is to you being to the point where you're at now.
Bueno, Yordenis, esta pregunta es para vos. Y la pregunta es que no es solo una pelea entre vos y Spence, sino que también es un duelo de grandes mentes, de grandes entrenadores, como Derek James e Ismael Salas. Contanos un poco cómo tu relación con Ismael te cambió la vida, básicamente, tanto a nivel profesional como personal.
Sí, yo vine en 2016, tenía 15-3, venía de 2 años y medio sin pelear, venía de 2 derrotas consecutivas en 140. Comenzamos a trabajar, comenzamos a trabajar fuerte. 2016, cuando llegué al gimnasio, habían 5 campeones mundiales, 6 campeones mundiales. Y me dijo, tú eres el mejor peleador, después del primer espacio, tú eres el mejor peleador que hay aquí en el gimnasio. Y yo solamente estaba trabajando fuerte y gracias a Dios 6 años después vamos a la pelea más grande de nuestras carreras. Estamos peleando por 3 cinturones, una pelea histórica. Tenemos una gran relación. Para mí es uno de los mejores entrenadores del mundo.
Ismael is one of the best trainers in the world. I remember back in 2016 when I had been away from the sport for about 2.5 years, feeling down about myself after losing 2 consecutive fights, not knowing what would become of me. And then I just went to the gym with him and he built me back up to where I am now. So he was a great influence in my boxing career because he allowed me to reach the heights that I was able to achieve, and he was of great help to me, and I really appreciate that. Mitch, go ahead.
Great. Thanks, Martin. Let's go next to Cole Whiston from Boxing World Weekly. Cole, go ahead.
Hi, guys. Thank you. It's an honor to be here. I'll do my question for you, Dennis. Earlier in the promotion, Yordenis, Spence said that he thinks you met Pacquiao at the perfect time and that he would have probably done even better than you did against him. I just want to know, what's your response to that?
Bueno, Yordenis, Spence dijo que vos agarraste a Pacquiao en el momento perfecto para vos y que si él hubiese peleado contra Pacquiao, lo hubiese ganado de manera todavía más convincente. ¿Qué te genera eso? ¿Qué dijo?
No, yo tomé la oportunidad de pelear con una leyenda, uno de los mejores peleadores de la historia, con 11 días nada más solamente de aviso. Fui ahí, peleé, gané, tuve una gran victoria, tuve una de las mejores victorias de cualquier peso welter de esta generación. Y estoy feliz, me tocó eso a mí, trabajo duro, estaba listo y lo hice.
Well, look, I did my job. I had only 11 days notice, and I'm very happy about being able to fight against a legend like Pacquiao and having come out with the win. Then whatever Spence said is what he said. But as far as I'm concerned, I won the way I had to win, and now I'm ready to fight this against Spence in this new challenge.
Great, thanks. Let's go now to Ivan Montiel from BoxingTalk.com. Ivan, go ahead.
Saludos, tengo dos preguntas, una para Ugas y el otro para Tito Trinidad, la leyenda de Puerto Rico. Ugas, dos preguntas. Ahora que pudiste hablar con Tito, ¿cómo te sientes motivado? ¿Cómo te sientes de las palabras que te dice Tito?
Feliz.
Muy feliz.
Martín, ¿va a hablar o hablo yo?
Sí, no, habla vos, tranquilo. No, sí, te decía que no esperes a que traduzca.
Tito me mandó, para mi pelea con Pacquiao, me había mandado suerte y éxito y me mandó ánimo, agua también. Es uno de los mejores peleadores de la historia. Es un gran orgullo, un gran honor poder conversar con él ante esta histórica pelea que tengo yo.
Y si ganas, tengo que preguntar, si ganas esta pelea, ¿es posible que puedas hacer una pelea contra Crawford?
Bueno, yo lo he dicho, para esta pelea, yo pienso una de las cosas más brillantes que tiene es que el ganador de 3 cinturones continúe para pelear para un indiscutido contra Crawford. Eso es lo que quiero hacer yo. Pero estoy enfocado en la pelea. Estoy enfocado en una pelea dura que tengo abril 16 y mi mente está ahí hasta ese día.
There were two questions there. One was, how motivated are you now that Trinidad gave you all this advice and all these pointers? And Ugas was saying that he couldn't be more motivated because it's such an honor and such a privilege to receive those kind words from Trinidad, who, as he mentioned before, he sent that video to him before the Pacquiao fight, and how he motivated back then, just like he is now. The second question was about whether a win against Spence will prompt a fight against Crawford. And Ugas was saying that, first of all, gotta finish this fight, gotta focus on this fight. Can't think of anything else. This is a tough enough challenge as it is. So, yes, if he does win, the goal is to go for the undisputed title and have that fight against Crawford. By no way, shape, or form can he overlook Spence. Félix, ¿qué te generaría que Yordenis sea indiscutido? ¿Te generaría mucho orgullo?
¿Orgullo para mí? ¿Para mí?
Sí.
¿Me puede repetir la pregunta, por favor?
No, que te generaría mucho orgullo que Yordenis gane los 3 cinturones y vaya por el título indiscutido.
Sí, seguro. Sería un orgullo tremendo. ¿Será que él me parece ser el indiscutido, el campeón indiscutido, y verá que cuando peleé contra Crawford, que ganan todos los títulos?
Felix was saying that he's hoping that Yordenis can indeed win this fight and go for the undisputed title because he's proud of Yordenis, and he knows that Yordenis can do anything he sets his mind to. Mitch, go ahead with the next question.
Great, thanks, Martin. Let's now hear from Steven Carino, the third from KO Artist Sports. Steven, go ahead.
Bueno, Félix, la pregunta es la siguiente. Vos en tu época solías ser el mejor libra por libra. Ahora, ¿quién es el mejor libra por libra según los expertos? Canelo. Entonces, ¿qué opinás de Canelo actualmente y cómo pensás que hubiese sido una pelea entre Canelo y vos en las 168 libras?
De verdad que sí, Canelo es un gran boxeador, un gran campeón, lo ha demostrado. Ahora mismo, pues, lo tienen el mejor campeón, libra por libra, y lo es, sí, es un campeón, ha demostrado ser sólido, y de verdad que, pues, tiene muchos fanáticos que México entero, y muchos fanáticos que lo siguen. Y hablando de lo que me comentaste, si una pelea entre nosotros dos, hubiese sido un gran combate, pero yo siempre subía 100% preparado física, mentalmente, y psicológicamente subía con toda mi capacidad 100% para ganar. De verdad que no es por felices combates, pero siempre subía a ganar lo máximo en mi carrera, y en 168, me preguntaste de este peso,
Sí.
hubiese sido tremendo combate, y hubiese sido tremendo combate, pero como te comenté, subía siempre a ganar.
Canelo is an outstanding champion. He has the, that pound for pound label for a reason. He's someone that's very solid. That's someone that knows what it takes to be a champion, and he goes in the ring with the confidence and talent of a champion. Now, as far as a hypothetical fight between me and him, I always prepare physically and mentally 100% to fight against absolutely anybody, regardless of their titles, their names, or whatever they may bring, because it was about me being psychologically ready for any challenge. As it will be a great fight, it will be something amazing. But in the end, I always stepped in the ring to be able to beat anybody with the conviction that I can beat anybody. Mitch?
Great, thanks, Martin. Let's now go to Kirk Jackson with the Scope Network. Kirk, go ahead.
Thank you, Mitch. I appreciate you both. I have two quick questions for both Yordenis and Felix. Starting with Felix, having watched Yordenis's career and his journey, do you see yourself in him? And if so, what specifically? And what do you feel like Yordenis's best attribute is as a fighter? And for you, Dennis.
Wait. Let me translate that for Felix first. Felix, ¿cómo te ves reflejado de alguna manera en Yordenis como boxeador? Y si te ves reflejado, ¿en qué aspecto? What was the second part of the question? Sorry, about Felix.
Oh, it's no problem. It's what do you feel like Yordenis's best attribute is as a fighter?
Okay. ¿Y cuál es el mejor atributo que crees que Yordenis tiene como boxeador?
Felix. Por el mejor atributo, pienso no, lo que he visto de él, su condición física, también la condición física, estuvo muy preparado físicamente al ring, son muy importantes, y lo he visto que siempre sube concentrado al combate. Yo cuando yo peleaba también subía de esa misma manera, subía concentrado. Aquí no cuando uno sube al ring, no sube momentos que uno después tocar el guante con otros luchadores, bien, pero siempre también pendiente que hay luchadores que si uno baja la mano le castigan a uno, pero en ese aspecto siempre pelear, cuando estés ya dentro del ring, ser un boxeador, lo que se haya practicado durante todo el entrenamiento como campeón mundial, llevarlo 100% a la pelea ese día. Y yo sé que todas las cosas te van a poder ir bien, y comparándolo como en qué me parecía él, pues creo que la condición y que somos personas que vamos a la condición que vamos bien preparados al momento de la pelea.
Well, your two questions actually meld into one because they're actually pretty similar. I mean, his best attributes are actually the ones I see myself reflected the most in him: conditioning and also the mentality. Because what Yordenis does is that he brings 100% of what he has been working with in training to the fight, and he implements it so well. So he's not only able to endure a long fight, but he brings his mentality, his aggression, his preparation into the ring just like I used to, and that's something that not only do I think that is a reflection of what I used to do, but it makes me believe in him, and I know that he's gonna do well. I know that he's gonna be just fine because of that aspect of his mentality and his conditioning.
Great. Thanks for that. We got two more, and then we'll end the media portion. Let's now go to Rick Mohammed from Brawler Sports Media. Rick, go ahead.
Thanks, guys, for having me. My first question is for Yordenis. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
All right. Much respect, champ. So based on Earl Spence fighting Danny Garcia, that fight was a safe fight to say, coming back from a fatal accident as he did, because in my opinion, Danny is just a natural 140-pounder. So they knew Danny couldn't hurt him or touch him. But he got touched up by a much smaller Showtime Sean Porter, if you will, with a lot of exposing going on in his defense. That being said, with the accident, do you feel that Earl Spence is 100% the Earl that we saw prior to the accident, or do you feel like deep down inside his body says fragile?
Bueno, que él cree que la pelea contra Dani García para Spence en realidad fue ideal, porque Dani es un boxeador natural en las 140 libras y según él, la gente de Spence sabía que no lo iban a poder lastimar a Spence de una manera real, pero ¿quién sí lo lastimó? Sean Porter. Entonces, ¿vos cómo ves? ¿Ves huecos en la defensa de Spence cuando estudiabas esa pelea? ¿Cómo lo consideras? ¿O crees que él está equivocado y que Spence va a llegar bien y que la pelea contra Dani García fue justamente un Spence en su plenitud?
Nosotros hemos trabajado duro, hemos tenido un gran campamento, estamos esperando al mejor Spence. Pienso que regresó. Dani, un gran peleador, ganó a Dani. Nosotros estamos esperando al mejor Spence, nos hemos preparado para el mejor Spence. Pienso que es un gran boxeador, un gran campeón, no es perfecto, tiene sus fallas. Nosotros hemos estado trabajando, tiene sus fallas y muchas cosas han pasado fuera del ring, lamentablemente para él, pero sigue siendo un gran peleador y estamos trabajando duro para llegar contra el mejor Spence.
Look, I'm expecting to fight the best version possible of Spence. Is he perfect? No, of course he has his shortcomings just like any other boxer. But when he fought Danny Garcia, he won very well. He fought very well. So I'm not taking anything away from anybody that Spence fought. My mentality is that I have to be ready for the best version of Spence and be ready for whatever comes my way, because he's a great champion. And when you fight a great champion, you have to be ready for whatever comes your way. And what was your question for Felix?
I think that was it, Martin. We're now going to, thanks, Rick, for that question. We're not going to end things with Jim Conlon has one last question I ask. Jim, go ahead.
Hi there. My question is there for Yordenis. Yordenis, a lot has been said about Errol Spence and Bud Crawford. Do you feel that Errol Spence is a better matchup for you than Bud Crawford?
¿Sentís que Spence, Yordenis, que en realidad es mejor, te encaja mejor como oponente que Crawford?
Bueno, son dos grandes peleadores, pero pienso que Spence es un mejor, para mí una mejor pelea. Pienso que los estilos van a encajar más, va a ser una mejor pelea, pienso. Más hay cinturón en juego.
Yeah. And so, yeah, I do think that, Spence fits my style better, to where maybe Crawford will be a bit different. That's for sure.
All right, terrific. I want to thank the media for their questions, and I'm going to swing it now back to Raul Marquez for closing. Raul.
Thank you, Mitch. I mean, I'll tell you what, this has been such a great honor to talk to the legend Felix Tito Trinidad and to the champ Yordenis Ugas. I thank both for lending their time, and thanks to all the media that participated today. Remember, tickets for the live event at AT&T Stadium on April the 16th are on sale now and can be purchased on SeatGeek.com, the official ticketing provider of AT&T Stadium. I look forward to seeing all of you guys on April the 16th when Yordenis Ugas takes on Errol Spence in their 3-belt unification clash live in the main event on Showtime pay-per-view at AT&T Stadium. There are 3 additional fights on the pay-per-view undercard, and Showtime will also carry a Showtime Championship boxing telecast on Showtime immediately preceding the pay-per-view. So I'll tell you what, guys, Showtime definitely has boxing fans covered on April the 16th. I look forward to it, and thank you, everyone. Thank you. Gracias.
Muchas gracias a todos.
Saludos.
Gracias, fue un honor. Tito, me doy tu número para escribirte y eso.
Ok.
¿Yo?
Lo hablamos.
Es un honor. Así se le pide el número de teléfono a una leyenda.
Sí. Una vez tenía un mensajito a través de un gran amigo que tengo, que conoce a tu, creo que uno de
Tito
tus
Gladiator.
compañeros.
Aquel día me mandaron un mensaje para ver si, tú sabes, me llegan tu número para escribirte y eso.
Sí, te lo envío.
Ok.
Saludos. Sí,
Gracias, fue un honor.
Gracias, Tito. Gracias, Ugas.
Raúl.
Bye.
Saludos, Raúl.
Salud.
The recording has stopped.
Wow. That was super cool. That was super cool. That was neat. I'd seen Tito before at a fight, but that was super cool. That was like when I was just a fan, so I never got to ask him anything. So that was dope. That was super dope. What do you guys think? That was pretty neat. Man, Spence Ugas, we're about 2 weeks away. Just under 2 weeks. It's going to be a great fight. Man, 3 of the 4 pieces of the belts are going to be there. So I wouldn't be surprised if Terrence was there too. So, man, incredible. Super cool to talk to Tito. It was a real honor to be part of that call. That was dope, Samir. Yeah, that was real cool, man. Man, it was dope. It was super dope. I never get to talk to Tito, so you guys know, you guys go to fights. He's rarely there, if at all. I don't think I've ever seen him. The only fight I saw him at was whatever fight. Oh, it was Cotto versus Margarito when I went as a fan a while back. So yeah, that's hella cool. But yeah, hope you guys liked it. Thank you for watching. I'm gonna be going everywhere, guys. So all these fights that are coming up, I'm hitting all of them. So hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon every weekend for the next till like Australia, I want to say. Hit the super chat for your boy because I'm trying to go to Australia. So anything you guys could give me, I'd appreciate it. All of that goes towards the channel, and it's just me working on it. So anything goes to help with the travel and the arrangements and all that stuff I got to do. So trying to go to Australia. I appreciate each and every super chat is as big as small as you could do it. Anything helps because Australia is expensive. So thank you guys so much for being part of this live, and I'll chop up some pieces of it so you guys will get little bits and pieces. You don't have to watch a whole hour of this, but thank you so much. Thank you so much for watching, and yeah, appreciate you guys. Hit me with the super chats. Venmo, Cash App is all at KOR to Sports. So yeah, thank you guys for the support always, and I'll be doing a lot more lives. I'm gonna go HD with my live soon. Just got that equipment, so I'm trying to work on that and bring you guys live streams with basically streaming from my camera. So we're in the process of working on that. But thank you so much. Appreciate you guys, and see you this Saturday. Ryan Garcia versus Emmanuel Tego. I'm gonna be covering some of PBC stuff during the week as well. So yeah, it's a great fight. The return of Ryan after about a year and a half, coming off the hand surgery. So we'll see how that looks, and see how the kid looks, man. I'm excited for Ryan to be back now that Tank. There's a lot of lightweight action happening. Obviously, starting with Ryan this November 9th, and the next week we got Isaac Cruz fighting. We also have Rayo Valenzuela's on that card as well, on Spence and Ugas undercard. So those are two good Rayo's fighting Francisco Vargas, a former champ. That's a good fight. So those are like 3 lightweight fights already, right? That are happening in the next 2 weeks. And then obviously the next 2 towards the end of May and June. May 28th, Tank versus Rolly. Tank's last fight on the contract, it seems like. So I don't know if he's staying with PBC. I don't know if he's just, free agent Canelo style, like Devin Haney style, and just, can just sign 1-2 fight contracts to fight whoever he wants. That'd be cool. Man, a lot going on. And then obviously a week later, like I said, super chat your boy so I can make it, please. But yeah, I should be going to Australia, and it'll be Devin Haney versus George Kambosos. That's a great fight. It's a great fight over there. A lot for Devin Haney to overcome, going all the way over there to Australia. The time difference, climate change, all that stuff. Fighting in a huge soccer stadium with the hometown champ. That's a lot to overcome. So credit to him. Credit to him for having the guts to do it, for having the balls to do it. Good for him. George Kambosos, the cat's out of the bag. People know George Kambosos is good and he's very dedicated, very sure of himself. Tough guy, can get up when getting knocked down. We saw it with Teofimo Lopez. So it's a great fight. So I towards the end of June, a lot of obviously all the dust will have settled by then, and then we'll see who's left out on top and who could fight who. That's awesome. That's awesome. Been helping. What does this say? I came through the live late, but didn't know Tio was helping Ugas. Yeah, I wouldn't say helping him, but I mean, well, I don't know. He is sending a video and stuff. I don't know if you saw it. You might not have seen on the interview, but yeah, I was saying he sent him video of different stuff, like kind of helping him with like the Pacquiao, I guess like strategy or something. I don't know. He sent him a video or two, just helping. I'm sure Ugas was just like a kid. He just seemed like super hyped that the legend was he's reached the point in his career where now the legends that he saw when he was a kid are now kind of reaching out to him and talking to him, and it's super cool. It's super neat. So yeah, you're right. April 9th is going to be lit with Ryan. April 16th is Ugas is fighting Spence. So that card is good. That card's super good. I'm super hyped to see that whole pay-per-view. You're getting money's worth there in that one too. Man, I'm gonna be in Texas for about a week because I'm staying in Texas that whole time. So that's another super chat your boy, because I'm gonna be staying in Texas for a whole week. And then I think after I have a wedding, so I'll also be putting out content. But what is it? April 23rd is Fury, so I'll have some content leading up to that. But I'm not going to England, so I'll see if I can find someone to go to England or be in England for me rather. The week after Valdez Shakur. It's a week after that. Canelo Bivol, and then Castaño Charlo here at home. What's the 21st? David Benavidez fights the 21st in Arizona, and May 28th Tank, and then June 4th Kambosos Haney. So it's going to be excellent. Thank you so much all for being part of the channel, being part of my journey, and thank you guys. Talk to you guys soon. Appreciate it.